On this week's episode of the BS Show, we dive into the GTA 6 delay and more. Before we jump in, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. Love what you're hearing? Show your support by liking this episode, dropping a comment with your thoughts, sharing this episode, and subscribing to keep up with all our future content. I'm Blake, and with me as always is Steve. What's going on, everybody? Happy to be back. It's been a pretty good week, pretty busy week with gaming, dude. We finally finished Split Fiction. Game's been fun. I'm not going to go too much into that game because we're going to be doing a bigger dive on that for our special episode this week. Besides Split Fiction, I've been playing, got back in a while. I've been playing some arenas and Solo Shuffle, as always, League, and then now we're just starting Remnant 2. What about you, Steve? What games you been up to this past week?
I've been playing a lot of the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I picked that up. It was on like a 20% sale and dumped in like about 10-15 hours into the game. It's been pretty fun so far.
Is that new one, or is that the pirate ship is the new one?
No, so that's a new one. It's a new one. Yeah.
So how is it? Is it pretty good?
It's fun. It's enjoyable. The combat's different. Like I'm the only other Like a Dragon games that I've played were all turn-based. So this one being like an actual action RPG is pretty different. So it's pretty fun. One of the things that I love about these games is like all the mini games and how much time you can spend it's just a time suck when you end up playing the mini games, like playing karaoke to try and get high scores, or going around and playing baseball and mahjong and it's pretty fun. The one thing that I kind of dislike, not the biggest fan of, is the boat combat. And how frequent you do have to do the boat combat, but outside of that, and even then, it's not like it's terrible. It's just not as enjoyable as the rest of the game.
Didn't it it just came out and it's already going on a discount?
It came out I think like January, but I mean it's got really good reviews. I don't necessarily think a game going on discount right off the bat. Usually this is around the time most games go on sale anyways, is for spring sales. So I mean, a game coming out January, February, I think it was. I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's like, I guess it's only like 4 months.
Yeah.
So to get into this, the question I got for you and our listeners today is, who is your favorite video game character?
I think for me it'd have to be Nathan Drake, just because of how much enjoyment I have with the series.
Really?
Yeah, it's Uncharted is like by far my favorite game of all time. It's not even close. Like I enjoy that game more than anything, and I think a lot of it having to do with the characters themselves and how much you kind of tend to. I kind of grew attached to the characters, grew attached to Sam, to Sully, to Nathan, and all that, and it's just after a while it's hard to pick someone else.
I honestly thought you were going to say Johnny Silverhands.
Oh no!
I was waiting for that.
I didn't mind the Johnny Silverhand character, but he definitely wasn't my favorite character in the game itself. Like I don't know. Like if it was Cyberpunk specifically, I just think there's so many good characters in that game.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought you were a huge. I mean, I know you were a huge Cyberpunk fan. I always thought you were like, you were always telling me about Johnny Silverhands. But,
yeah, I mean, he's a cool character, but yeah, no, I definitely pick someone else for sure.
So Nathan Drake, okay. For me, I'd have to say Master Chief, man. I mean, I've just been a huge Halo fan, like, for the longest time. I mean, I haven't played in a very long time. I had it, I think it was Steam, the Halo series on there. But man, just so many memories of Halo. That was like one of the first games that I played the campaign through, besides like James Bond 007. So, like, Master Chief will, like, always hold, like, that special place in my heart. He's just a very iconic character, very, very well-known, and, yeah, I mean, easily my favorite. So, if you're listening, go ahead, drop a comment with who your favorite video game character is, and you can even explain why if you'd like to. Sorry, man, let's cut through the BS and get right into this. We got quite a bit today. So, our first article, man, Blizzard is collaborating with Nexon, who is a major South Korean publisher, to develop a mobile version of Overwatch, which they're referring to as Overwatch 3. So now Blizzard's making the shift towards mobile gaming and trying to reach a broader audience now by tapping into this mobile game market. I think right now, the only big game they have on mobile is Hearthstone, right? I think.
Well, they had Rumble that came out. I'm not 100% sure exactly when it came out, but I know that was like humongous for them when it first came out. I don't know if it's still pulling the same amount of numbers that it was at launch, but I mean, yeah,
you still play Hearthstone?
Hearthstone and that. Every once in a while, I think TFT kind of.
I was gonna say you're deep in TFT right now.
I love Hearthstone. Like Hearthstone is extremely fun. It's just TFT. I love the fact that you can play TFT without really spending any money, and Hearthstone kind of became one of those things. It's unless you're buying every single set that comes out, you fall so far behind in terms of what you can and can't play.
Yeah, it makes sense. I played Hearthstone for a little bit, but like I felt like I was. I mean, I know there's free to play like packs you can build. I just felt like you were almost forced to spend money if you weren't getting enough cards that you needed for a certain deck and shit like that.
It's either that or just playing the game a lot. Like Hearthstone was the one game where I actually played fairly competitively when it first came out, and unless you were like putting in like crazy amounts of hours and just getting, because you used to be able to get gold and buy packs with gold, and like unless you were playing like a bunch, you just fell behind so far. Like if a new set came out and you weren't able to, because a lot of the times new cards that are coming out are super strong. So it's like you want to play these new cards, and if you don't have them, you just lose.
Correct me if I'm wrong too. In Hearthstone, was it Arena or was it Battlegrounds that you had to pay gold in order to play?
That's Arena.
You think it was? Now, do you think that was fucking stupid? Like to have to pay to play, or like what was the? I don't understand the whole charging to play the game mode.
I don't know why they created or they added that barrier to have to pay to get in, but I mean, realistically, it's if you won at least like 3 games in your arena run, you were making your money back or more. So it really wasn't. I thought it was fine. I thought the entry was completely fine.
See, okay, so now to get back on the Overwatch subject, are you interested in a mobile version of Overwatch?
It's interesting for sure. Like I would love to see how they do it. From what I saw, it's looking like it's going to be more of a MOBA rather than actually Overwatch, what we're kind of accustomed to. So I'm curious to see how they do it and what the end product is. Because
similar if it's a MOBA, that game that we played, what was that Legends?
Mobile Legends. Yeah. Yeah, if it's a MOBA, I think it could be fine. Like I mean, we see MOBAs do great on mobile all the time. Like I mean, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang game that we played, it's like huge in India and China, and I think they just realized how big. I think Blizzard's kind of realizing how big MOBAs are in general, and how much of a blunder they had with Heroes of the Storm. And I think the mobile market is probably an easier barrier to entry than coming in PC and competing against League.
I think it's a lot easier to develop on it too, or for it.
It's probably the same. I'm kind of guessing it probably is very, very similar. I just think you're just not competing against League. And if you try and come in on PC, there's just so many other competitors, basically. Granted, I think
your two biggest two are what? League and Dota. And good luck. Yeah, you said good luck competing with those two.
And then it's like you have MOBAs coming out all the time, and it's like it's just there's just too many cooks in the kitchen for that one.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm actually, if it comes out, as long as it's free to play, I'll honestly probably pick it up. Just I enjoy mobile games. Like if ever I do my overnights, I don't bring a laptop with me, so like that's when I was really playing like that Mobile Legends. So I would definitely, I think it'd be cool to play a MOBA version of Overwatch. Be able to use your abilities like that. So in the same article too, I guess Blizzard is working on a new StarCraft, but not in your traditional RTS format. Instead, they're looking at like an open world shooter just set in the StarCraft universe. Now, this idea was put on the back burners for quite a while they worked on like Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. But recent reports show that Blizzard is looking at getting this going and actually like actively working on this. So it looks like Blizzard, man, has a lot of big moves. I wonder if this is why, because we were talking about going to BlizzCon next year. I wonder if, like, this stuff's all going to be announced, because usually they only do like BlizzCons now when like they have a lot of things to announce. So I wonder if they're going to be talking more about this next year. But my question about this, man, do you think that like this is too late though for them to be getting into the mobile market, or do you think like the mobile market's like always going to be there, so there really is no wrong time to jump in on it?
I think it's fine. I think them getting in it now is completely fine. I mean, the mobile market's going to be there no matter what. Like, we're seeing more and more people kind of transition into the mobile market. So it's again, it's like I don't think there is a bad time to get involved for sure.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I worry. Not. I don't want to say worry. I feel like Blizzard really hasn't put out like a whole lot of good games. I mean, I know. I mean, you got your World of Warcraft and what's that one, Avowed, which I don't really remember how well that did. But maybe this might be the right move for them. Start generating some more money.
Well, the thing is, if the game is good, people are going to forget about your previous fiasco.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's the good thing about the way everything is in this current generation. Is like, if your previous thing was not great, like, people are going to forget. Like, people are only going to care about what you're currently doing now, not so much what you've done in the past.
That makes a lot of sense. Is there anything else you want to talk about on Blizzard and all this stuff?
No.
All right, so before we get on our next topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the podcast and leave a comment. So, Assassin's Creed Shadow posted a year one post-launch roadmap. So I'm just going to go through here and explain what's on this roadmap, because obviously you can't see it unless you pull it up. So early May, which is where we're in now, there's supposed to be a new free quest called The Works of Louis Froy. It's supposed to be update to codex and their code and everything like that, and then some quality of life improvements. Later this month, you're looking at. Oh, by the way, these are all free too. So later this month, you're looking at like a parkour update, height gaining back ejects, height gaining side ejects, and then a new vertical ledge jump. And there's also going to be an update to the photo mode. In June, there's a second story drop. It's going to be called New Ally for Your League. They're going to put some new difficulty settings in, more gameplay immersion options, an open world alarm system, and then headgear and cutscene option. I never really noticed that headgear wasn't on to begin with. And then some additional free content to come that there is no specific month on there, but this will be coming. Looks like it says new game and then community feedback updates, new story drops, special collabs, new rewards, and then a Claws of Awaji expansion. So we're already a few months into Assassin's Creed Shadow. So what do you think of this roadmap, man? Is it enough to keep you wanting to play it? I've got probably about 15 to 20 hours in on Assassin's Creed Shadow, and honestly, I'm like kind of at the point like I feel like it's kind of boring. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm kind of bored with it.
I'm definitely intrigued to see what changes they're making with the parkour, because that's one of the things that I kind of found the biggest, or I had the biggest gripe with was the parkour specifically. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. I'll definitely probably reinstall it. Everything else, like on top of
you
that,
uninstalled it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was kind of in a similar boat as you. It's like I have about 20 something hours in the game. I kind of got to the point where it's like I felt like I've explored everything I wanted to explore. I think the game looks great. The combat's fine. It's fun. It's enjoyable. The parkour kind of sucks. The story kind of sucks, and it just didn't do enough for me to want to keep playing it. I think the game was fine.
I kind of felt like I was playing WoW in the sense that it was like, so the main story is your dad gets killed and you're, getting payback on all the people that killed him. So like each little quest was like, go here, and the end of the quest was you had to kill this person, and then it's like the next one was, go kill this person, go kill this person. And that really is like what it felt like. It felt like once you did one, you've done the all, and then I've done all of them, and then like you said, like the parkour, like the movement What's the main girl's name again? I can't remember. It's not. Yeah, it's
Naue.
Naue, and then you get Yasuke. Like Naue was like she was able to move a lot, but the movement felt kind of janky. She was more your stealthy person. And Yasuke, like the movement didn't feel really good. I know he's supposed to be like your big brute guy, but it didn't really feel like an Assassin's Creed game, like with like the parkour, like the movement really. So I mean, I don't know,
The parkour was very not great in my opinion. Like I can't tell you how many times I would be trying to like scale a building and I'd just get stuck trying to climb up something, and it's like it's something that you can definitely climb up, but for some reason my character is just stuck.
I noticed too, you know how there were certain parts that you can look up at a ledge and it'd say like press RB or something like to like hook onto it and like pull yourself up. I noticed that was like glitching a lot, and like I couldn't, like it would be there 1 second and then all of a sudden I couldn't grab back onto it, and it's like I felt like I was getting stuck on ledges. Like I'd be hanging on there and it's like I'm trying to get off, and like the only way it was really working is if I like rolled off while holding. It was weird. It didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game to me. It just felt like, because I know the game got delayed by quite a bit, and I feel like they still should have held off a little bit more and kind of polished it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, like, there wasn't, like, a whole lot of glitches. Like, the game ran fine. I just think the mechanics just weren't as smooth as they probably should have been. And maybe during testing, they thought it was fine, and they thought people would enjoy it. Because, again, it's like, unless you're going around and, like, parkouring, like, if you're just riding around on your... The horse riding too was kind of janky, but like I guess
it felt like the way you were like moving, and all of a sudden it was like so like when you stopped, it's like your horse fucking did like a 360.
Well, it's like you can ride up a mountain with your horse if you just spam jump, and it's like yeah. I don't know if you tried that at all, but it's like if you're instead of like going around a mountain, I would just climb up the mountain with the horse and just. Well, no, if you're just going straight up and you just spam the jump button and you'll be fine.
Man, I will say there were some parts that like you had it like I can't remember what they're called, like the watch outs in order to get the fast track. Like they were at a certain points on like hills and shit like that, and I noticed you can just like you said kind of like gallop up the through the forest, up the hills and stuff like that. Well, like normally like you wouldn't be able to just walk up there because you'd slide back down, but if you were on the horse, you said you just had a whole gallop and you were pretty much able to go wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
So I guess to wrap this segment up here, man, do these things here, you think it's going to make you want to reinstall and give it a look and see how these updates do?
I definitely will try it. Like I want to see what they do with the parkour, because I think, like I said, the game was enjoyable. Like I had a lot of fun playing it. It's just I don't think it's something that can definitely hold my attention for 40 plus hours, which I think is how much time you have to commit to this game to beat it. But yeah, outside of that, like I said, I thought the game was fine. I thought it was enjoyable. I'll definitely give it a try again and see what happens. And yeah.
See, I got a buddy at work who I don't know if he's beaten it or he's about to beat it. So I'm going to ask him what he thinks of these updates. So anyways, man, on to our next one here. So we all know that there has been an ongoing battle between Epic Games and Apple, and that Epic Games, when you're on the App Store, like you had to go to a third-party source for payment options within the apps. Now developers have the legal right to link to external payment options within their apps without facing any penalties from Apple. So I guess Apple violated their previous court order, which that court order was to allow developers to direct users to alternative payment options outside of the App Store. But what they did was they imposed a 27% fee on all transactions made, while not allowing these developers the ability to inform the users about the alternative payment methods. So now, because of this, Fortnite's now going to be returning to the App Store and will be playable again on all iPhones. I think it's this week or next week is when it's supposed to start. So, yeah, I think this is a huge win for Epic Games, man, with them returning to the iOS Apple Store. It allows them to, tap back into that mobile market, which we said, continues to prove to be a huge, huge market, and constantly expanding one at that, man. So what's your thoughts on like the lawsuit, man, and Fortnite finally being able to come back to, come to the iPhone?
I think it's huge. Kind of like how you touched on. I think mobile gaming is the future. It's just anything handheld, anything everything you can take with you is humongous. And I think for Epic coming back onto, or Fortnite in general, just coming back onto the iPhone is going to open them up to a much larger audience. And you're going to have more and more people that are going to be playing and spending money, buying V-Bucks and buying skins. I don't know how big like COD Mobile is or like PUBG Mobile is, but I definitely know how big Fortnite is. So I think it's going to be big.
What I think is going to be huge about this too is the fact that they're going to be able to reach kids. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, yeah, you can, like, I have it set up on Callie's like Roblox where she can't, make a purchase on there. I have to log into it from my phone or do it. But I feel like every kid, 5 and up now has tablets, and parents would rather get their kids a tablet to play on than, $500-$600 console. So I think that's going to be a lot more accessible to kids to play this game, and doing so, more kids are going to have access to it. As parents, kind of like what I do, I spend, $15-$20 a week. I give Callie Robux, to customize her character. I buy her V-Bucks all the time. So I think, yeah, man, I think they're going to make a shit ton of money by doing this. And I mean, and like I said, the whole Epic Store's coming back to the iOS. So all their games, this is a huge win for Epic, man, on this. And I wonder what this has, what this sets for like all future developers that are going to try to come to the iOS store, like just how much money there is to be made by being on the App Store.
No, yeah, especially because like the largest cell phone market that people need to get into is the Apple App Store.
See, what's weird though is I feel like the Android used to be bigger than the Apple, because it was always like, oh, the price point for an iPhone is way too high, and then all of a sudden everybody stopped giving a shit, and like we're all gladly forking out $300-$400 for the newest iPhone.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that like most like cell phone providers will give you a free phone if you sign up for them. So it's I think that aspect of it's just companies have realized like they make more money off getting people to sign up for the plans rather than selling the phones outright. So they kind of push you in that direction.
No, I agree. So anything else you would hit on with this one?
No.
All right, so this next one is kind of actually cool. So World of Warcraft is going to be introducing, I'm calling it a one-button macro. So for those of you who have played WoW or familiar with it, there used to be able to have something that was called a cast sequence macro, which was a string of code that you can sit there and press this button. Like I do this on my rogue all the time. I'd build like a one-shot macro, and it just casts your buttons in a sequence. So essentially, that's what this button's gonna do. It's gonna have, I think they said like a 0.2 second delay in between each ability, but it's gonna basically do your whole rotation for you, and it's getting made fun of a lot. The Peekaboo, the streamer, Asmongold, all kind of like making fun of it a little bit, but I think it's actually a really good idea. Because not only do you have new players, we already got there's like every class has like 40-50 abilities that you're trying to figure out what everything does. But I'm looking at this from like an accessibility kind of standpoint. Like if you're somebody who maybe struggles with moving your fingers, really bad arthritis, or like can't use your hands or your arms a whole lot, like the ability to make this one button thing, I think is fucking huge, bro. I think it's a good idea. What do you think about it?
So I'm kind of a little bit on the, I guess, the edge. Like I think because it's like a two-part thing. They're adding a rotation thing. I don't know if you've ever used like Killy that like highlights the buttons that you're supposed to be pressing.
I've seen those.
Like that aspect of it, like I'm completely fine with, because I think that's great. I think it's people are looking up what their rotation should be anyway. So like them incorporating something like that you can have highlight what buttons you should be pressing. Like I think that's completely fine. Like I have nothing against that. The one button thing, it's kind of weird. Like I think part of me, it's like kind of wants to hate it, because it's like again, you should be able to learn how to play your class, but
making you lazy.
Not that's I mean, realistically for me, like that's not the part that bugs me. I think the part that bugs me about this whole situation is the fact that they understood that there is a issue with how many buttons you have to press, but instead of addressing that issue, they're just like, oh, let's just make it easier for them to press all these buttons. Instead of removing whatever 10 abilities that you shouldn't be pressing anymore, like rend or
it should be built into other abilities. Yeah.
Like slice and dice, like the fact that you have to keep this one buff up the entire time you're playing, because if it's not up, you lose whatever, like 20-30% of your DPS. It's like, just make it a passive. Instead of addressing that, they just basically band-aid it and just give you this like this one basic solution of like, okay, here you go, you just have to press one button now. I definitely think if there is like a 2-second delay or whatever it is, like it's gonna be
0.2 seconds. So it's not gonna so it's not like a huge thing, but it's enough where like you can sit there and, you know what I mean, you can still do it, but it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be like that huge.
I mean, I think it's gonna be I think it'll be pretty big, because like if you think about, like, unless you're like your top 1% of raiders or PvPers, it's going to be better for someone to just have the one button thing and just spam that than doing their own abilities. Like, think about like how, like, the difference between like your best players and like your just your average casual players. Like, your casual player probably isn't doing their DPS rotation optimally or hitting the buttons at the exact time that they're supposed to be hitting it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
There's gonna be situations where it's like, it's just gonna be better for you to just push that one button and just not do anything else. The one thing that I wanted to touch on it earlier when we were talking about the mobile thing, I think this is a way for them to potentially start moving into the mobile. Yeah, because now you go from having to have whatever 50 buttons to play your class. It's like, okay, now you can kind of play the game just hitting one button. This is your attack button, and then maybe they're going to incorporate like a CC button and like an interrupt button, and that's all you have to hit. It's like you just hit one button and you can CC things, one button and you can interrupt, and it's like, okay, now you can definitely play WoW on mobile.
See, but I see people already using what do they call them? Like, not what is the I think you have it. I've seen people use like a pad,
like a Steam Deck.
Yeah, like a Steam Deck to play it. So it's like, I mean, well, I guess if you're on a phone, like, that's gonna be really hard to press 50 buttons on a freaking phone.
Well, with the Steam Deck, you have like you have the ability to be able to use like modifiers. So you can use like left trigger, right trigger to be able to say like, okay, I want to macro whatever ability onto my X button, but then I want to have other abilities that are macro to the X button. So you have X left trigger, X right bumper, stuff like that. So you can still have a bunch of abilities macroed on there, but it's gonna be you're gonna be using your modifiers.
I feel like this is gonna allow people though to focus more on the mechanics of the game than their actual rotation. Because I feel like now there's gonna be no excuse for people to fucking die the fire and shit like that. Because it's like, dude, all you gotta press is your one button and just move around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's fine, to be honest. Like I like that they want people to do something like that rather than focus on whatever on doing their DPS, because like realistically some of these characters classes DPSs is insane. Like, try playing like an arcane mage and trying to do everything optimally as an arcane mage is like,
and you got to track 100 different buffs. You're like, okay,
yeah. So no, I'm completely fine with them doing something like this. For me, it's just I would have preferred if they had addressed the actual issue at hand, and reduce some of the abilities rather than say like, oh, we're just gonna put a band-aid on this. It's that's what it kind of feels like to me. It's like they realize there's an issue, and instead of addressing the issue, they're just like, okay, we're just gonna go right past this.
This is probably Ian's doing.
Is that the guy that's in charge of?
Yeah, he's the one in charge right now.
Yeah.
So I think, anything else you want to hit on with this one?
No, no, no,
No?
no.
All right. So before we get into our last topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BSOGG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the podcast and leave a comment. So this next article is very sad for me to say. I'm even more so pissed because this game was on my fantasy game list. There is a delay now for GTA 6. So I'm just going to read this letter that Rockstar put out, and I say this with a tear in my eye. Hi everyone, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26, 2026, so literally a year and a couple weeks from now. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. And I say bullshit to that. I'm sorry. You guys, GTA 5 came out when? 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to look this up right now. GTA 5 release date. September 12 years ago, September 17th, 2013 is when so you've had 12 years to work on Grand Theft Auto 6 and you still need another year?
But they dropped other things in between GTA.
Okay, still though, dude. 12 years between the games and you're telling me in all that time they didn't have any time to start working on a new GTA 6 or to get this going more?
They did Red Dead Redemption 2, which was a humongous game. Like, let me look up what games they've released in the recent years.
I don't even know what they've released recently. Rockstar recent games?
Yeah, so you have...
You ain't got shit, dude. You're not gonna find anything within like the past... I don't even know.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Which was when?
So that was 2019.
Okay, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you had GTA 5 come out 2013, then GTA Online, then they had some remastered versions of some games, and Red Dead 2, which, if you kind of think about it, like the time frame between GTA 5, 2013 to 2018, or 2018, 2019 for Red Dead 2, like that's about 6 years, which is completely fine for them to take 6 years to make a game. And then from 2019 to now is when they're trying to do GTA 6. I think the one thing though, it's like, because I was watching a couple people talk about this whole situation, and they think it's Rockstar basically doing this because they're seeing all these companies that are increasing prices on games, and they want to take advantage of that price increase. But
so they want to wait to release it at a time that the prices are higher?
Yeah, but honestly, I think us as gamers, we kind of have to... We can't pick and choose when we want people... Like, we can't bash companies for releasing their games too early, and they come out with bugs, and they're not fully optimized, and then bash them when they're delaying their game because they want to make sure stuff is all right. Like, who knows if they're doing it because they want to wait to get more money, or if they're doing it realistically because they just want to release a polished, finished game.
I will say, though, on their website, though, it still says coming 2025.
Really?
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, it's like, I think we just need to give them the benefit of the doubt and, like, trust that Rockstar is actually taking the time that they need to give us a fully polished game, because that's what we want. Like, especially something that has this much hype surrounding it. If it comes out and and say we get a Cyberpunk situation where the game is it's unplayable at release, like that's not good. Like, the game needs to be perfect, and it needs to be incredible because of how much hype has surrounded this game. I think if it comes out and it's not anywhere near a 10 out of 10 perfect cinema, whatever people want to call it, like it's just going to be a letdown. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this game needs to be perfect, and it needs to be the best game ever made. And I think Rockstar realizes that, and they're trying I think they're trying very, very hard to make sure that they live up to those expectations.
You know, I will say this one thing on this, okay? If it's delayed for a year, I will be okay with it if that means that what they're doing in this next year is making sure that it is optimized for both console and PC and they release it all at once. Because normally we wait a year anyway after console for it to come on PC. So if it were to have come out this year, we would have had to wait until next year anyway to get it on PC. So maybe this is them wanting to release it on everything.
That would actually be huge if they delay it and then on day one they release it on PC.
I'd be okay, right? Would you be okay with it then?
Oh, 100%. Because I'm probably it would save me whatever $700 from having to buy a PlayStation.
You would. Well, you just get like Japan and fucking rent it. You know, rent it for a year.
No, I'm
or two.
I'm 100% buying PlayStation. Like that was my thought process. It was like I've already like I thought the game was coming out this year, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 5. I'm gonna be I was like trying to figure out how to budget this like $1,000 purchase because I was like, if I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 5, I'm gonna see if I can get one of those Pro Edition ones. I was like, okay, I need to budget out $1,000 to get this game. Then I need to buy a TV because I need to put it in my living room because I'm not gonna have it in my bedroom.
Connect to your monitor.
No. If I'm getting a PlayStation, I'm getting a TV. So it's like I have to budget out like $1,500 just to be able to play this one game.
Oh, get a fucking Roku TV. You can get like an 80-inch TV for like $300. No,
those things suck,
dude. They're great TVs on a budget, man. No, they're good, dude.
No. This is why I work. I work so I can buy myself nice things.
Wait until you know if you ever get like kids and they fucking put fingerprints all over your $5,000 TV, but not she, because I'm not going to say Kelly does that, but it's not so bad when it's a $300 TV, and one remote powers all the TVs, so you got that too.
No, I'm not doing that. I just get like an Apple TV thing and plug it in. But no, that would be huge. Like if because that's kind of what they were saying. It's like it was going to take about a year for it to come out on PC. So maybe they are doing something like that, and that's why they're delaying it because they realize how big the PC market is. Because I think if it does get released on PC day one, the amount of copies that this game is going to sell is going to be insane.
Huge. Yeah.
It's already going to be huge just being on console, but I think if they just right off the bat they just drop it on PC, it's going from like whatever maybe 100 million sales to like maybe 10x. This could be the one game that sells like 1 billion copies, which with the amount of hype that's surrounding this game because it's hitting multiple different demographics. It's hitting our demographic of like our 20, 30 or 30-year-old plus age group because it's like we grew up playing all the GTA games. Yeah. Then you're getting all the 20-year-olds because obviously GTA 5 has been around for a long time. Then you had Red Dead Redemption, and then it's hitting all the younger generation as well because of how much hype is surrounding GTA 5. They're seeing all these older generations hyping up GTA. Maybe they go in and they play GTA. GTA goes on sale. They play GTA Online. So it's like it's hitting every single market that you could want to hit. And again, like no one really knows much about what's going on with the game or where they're at with the game. So it's going to be a humongous game for sure.
I think you're the most hyped for this game I've ever seen you hype for any game.
It's going to be. I think there's moments like this in history. It's going to be a pivotal moment in history. I think the release of GTA 5. Because or GTA 6
is reinventing the light bulb guy.
Because you have to think about like how big this game is going to be. I think this is going to be the first game that probably costs maybe $1 billion to make. Like we're going to see some crazy numbers that come out with as far as like how much this game costs to make, what all you can do with this game. Like if they incorporate their RP into it, if they incorporate like again, like I'm already like blowing my own mind. I'm already like blowing my own mind just thinking about the things that you might be able to do. And I don't even know if they're going to incorporate any of that stuff. But it's like there's so much that could potentially happen with this game. It could be incredibly big. Like GTA 5 alone, like I think you could spend 60, 70, 100 hours playing that game just doing the campaign.
They still got like 100,000 plus playing it right now on PC alone on Steam.
100%. And that's just because the online gives you so much to do. And that's not, I don't know if that, actually, I guess that does count. What's it called? Your RP players as well, because I was trying to remember if you have to boot up the GTA off your what's it called off your Steam, because you have like a separate thing with GTA Online.
Yeah. Is it?
Wait,
is it through the same thing? I think it might just be like, I think it's you boot it up and then you hit online or campaign or whatever, story mode or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I haven't booted it up in a long time, so I can't remember. But no, I mean this game's gonna be it again. Like if it's anything short of incredible, it's gonna be the biggest letdown ever. Yeah. I don't think it'll flop. Like I still think people.
No, I'm saying if it doesn't live up to the hype, dude, it's 100%. They're not gonna recoup nearly as much money as they put into it.
This game needs to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Like it needs to be the best thing that Rockstar has ever released, because if it's not, there's going to be such a letdown, and the next thing that Rockstar does will be held to ridiculous standards where it needs to perform. Otherwise, it's not going to be there.
No, I agree. Anything else you want to hit on with it? I feel you can talk to me for an hour about how excited you are for GTA 6. Yeah, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on GTA 6 and how hype you are for it. So some games that we got on sale, or not on sale, I'm sorry, some games that are going to be getting released this next week. You got King Arthur Legion 9 is coming out May 6th on the PlayStation and Xbox. You also got Imperial is coming out on all platforms on May 8th. And then you got, Revenge of the Savage Planet is coming out on all platforms as well. And then some games that you need to check out on Steam that are on sale right now. You got the Halo Master Chief Collection is 75% off at $9.99. You got Titanfall 2 is 85% off at $4.49. You got Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 is 40% off at $29.99. And then you got Dark Souls 2 is 50% off at $19.99. And that's it for today's episode of the BS Show. If you enjoyed the unfiltered conversations, make sure to share the podcast and follow us on all socials at the BS Show GG. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back next week with more straight talk, no BS.